What's going on, everybody? It's Aurora coming at you with a brand new video, and tonight we got something kind of interesting revealed out of Infinite Forbidden, and that is the origin of Dia Bellstar. It looks like this new archetype kind of ties in with how Dia Bellstar became Dia Bellstar. Apparently her name's like Astoria or something instead, if this is actually her, which I find that pretty interesting that they're already diving into the origin story. So I don't know if that means that this is close to the end of the story. I highly doubt it. And this is a synchro archetype, so now that we have Goblin as the Xyz one and this is the synchro one, I wonder if we'll get a fusion archetype next. But this is a pretty big one coming out of the main set. It is like 11 cards, which is a lot. And so I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's go ahead and get right into this. It's called the White Woods archetype, by the way. Starting off, we have Aeria of the White Woods. It is a level 2 light spellcaster with 0 attack and defense, and you can only use each effect once per turn. You can send one spell or trap from your hand or field to the graveyard to special summon a light spellcaster tuner from your deck. And if a spell or trap is sent to your grave to activate a monster effect while it's in your graveyard, you can special summon it. Okay, so it looks like we have a little bit of a Witchcrafter sort of theme going on, which is funny because when I saw this card, I literally thought of Witchcrafters when I saw the artwork. But we have just pitching a spell or trap from hand or field to special light spellcaster tuner. This is kind of like what Dia Bellstar does, but only for back row instead of like any card. And this will summon any light spellcaster tuner, which is pretty cool. I wonder what all we have there. And then this is also a pretty neat way to get recursion, considering that it doesn't banish itself or anything. Next up is Rosette of the White Woods, is another level 2 light spellcaster with 0 attack and defense that you can only use each effect once per turn. You can send one spell or trap from hand or field to the grave to special it from your hand, then add one White Woods monster from your deck to your hand, except Rosette, and if a light spellcaster tuner is special to your field during your opponent's turn while this card's in your graveyard, you can add it to your hand. Triggers things like the Aeria, also searches on summon. Well, it searches like a Drytron basically, where he doesn't have to hit the board, so it can't be imperm there. And then this is also a pretty good recursion piece as well, because it will add another thing next turn. Next up is Silv of the White Woods, is a level 4 light spellcaster, and it is a tuner, maybe the tuner of the deck, right? Unless that one also is. It has 1500 attack and 200 defense, and you can only use each effect once per turn. On summon, you can add a White Wood spell or trap from your deck to your hand, and if it's in your graveyard as a quick effect, you can target one White Wood synchro monster you control or in your graveyard, return to the extra deck, and if you do, special summon this card, but its effects are negated. So pretty good that it searches a back row on summon. I know they have a good handful of it. And then also there's some really good recursion. Does suck that you can't get the first effect as well, but I guess that would kind of be like broken or something like that. But I also really like the recursion that it puts White Woods things back into your extra deck, and because it's a quick effect on your opponent's turn, well, just quick effect period, but you can use it on your opponent's turn. If your synchro monster would be removed from the field by some effect, or like be impermed or something, you can use this to block it, which is really good. Next up we have Arcelia? I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm just going to call it Arcelia of the White Woods. It is another level 4 light spellcaster tuner with 800 attack and 1500 defense, says 1600 here. And you can only use each effect once per turn. If you control a White Woods monster, you can special it from your hand. You can send one spell or trap from your hand or field to the grave to draw one card. And if it's in your graveyard, quick effect, you can target, okay, so it does the exact same thing as the other tuner. Pretty good extension, doesn't require you to send anything just for the extend. Also lets you draw a card by sending your back row, which I'm certain all these back row are going to have graveyard effects. And then also another similar effect, or exact same effect to Silv, which again, really great for dodging things, really good recursion there. Also a reminder that all of these effects will be triggering things like Rosette and Asteria. Their first synchro is Silvera, Witch Wolf of the White Woods. Their names, by the way, are like partial to the synchros they make, I'm pretty sure. It is a level 6 light spellcaster synchro tuner with 1900 attack and 2400 defense that requires one tuner and one or more non-tuners. On special summon, you can change all face-up monsters your opponent controls to face down a defense position. So kind of like Crystron. What's it called? There's a Crystron synchro that does like this exact same thing. But this is on special summon period, not just synchro summon. Also, it says illusion and spellcaster synchro monsters you control gain 500 attack. Also, if they attack a defense position monster, they do double piercing battle damage. So its first effect sets up the second effect pretty well, which will also boost itself, keep in mind. Also works on illusion and spellcaster synchro monsters, so just a reminder that like Dia Bells of the original Sin, she's like an illusion monster and stuff. The double piercing is actually pretty interesting. There's not too many cards that actually do that outside of like Chaos Max. And also it is a tuner, so you can climb into more stuff. And the other one is Recilia, Recilia, the one that requires Arcelia, not requires, but that is part Arcelia. Wicked of the White Woods is a level 6 light spellcaster synchro tuner as well, with 2000 attack and 1500 defense, also go to 25 with the boost from the other synchro. That requires one tuner and one more non-tuners, and you can only use its first effect once per turn. On special summon, you can send a spell or trap from hand or field to the grave to add a White Woods card or light spellcaster from your deck to your hand. Also, illusion, spellcaster, synchros, you control gain 500 attack, so another 500. Also, they cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Wow, so this card is really, really good. On special summon period, it triggers the effects of the other girls if you send a spell or trap thing. Also adds any White Woods card or any light spellcaster, which again, I think this is supposed to work with not Dia Bellstar, but like similar things. And then also the protection is really solid, and both of these on board will get an additional 1,000 attack together, putting this at 29 and this at 3k, both of which doing double piercing battle damage, which is sick. Their final synchro is Dia Bell, Fiendess of the White Woods, is a level 8 light illusion synchro with 2,500 attack and 2,000 defense. Keep in mind this will go to 35 if you have both other synchros on board. It requires one tuner and one more non-tuner, so you can only use each effect once per turn. On synchro summon, using a tuner synchro as material, you can target one spell or trap in your graveyard and add it to your hand. This is completely generic, by the way, wow. And when your opponent activates a card or effect, you can send a spell or trap card from your hand or field to the grave, especially a level 7 or lower tuner synchro from your extra deck, graveyard, or banishment. Wow, this is really strong. So even ignoring its big beefy stats and its super generic summoning condition, just on synchro summon period, as long as you use one of these, which you most likely will, because you're going to be summoning one of level 2s plus one of level 4s, and then synchro them off into this, and then they'll trigger like some other things as well to summon back your level 2s and then climb up again. It just completely generically adds any back row from your graveyard to your hand. And then also this functions similarly to Lancia, the new ice barrier card. I almost said ice jade card. The new ice barrier synchro that special summons when your opponent does something. But this will just grab either of your actually any level 7 or lower tuner synchro? Wait a minute. So this can summon the new Tenpai synchro, the level 7 one, Shooting Riser Dragon, Deep Sea Prima Donna, Blackwing Boreas Storm, the Wicked Wind, Coral Dragon, Manadium Trisukta, Ma Long, Flower Guardian Moonflower Viewing, Desert Locust, Drahunity Knight Lewin, Immortal Dragon, Executor of the Underworld Pluto, Battle Wasp Azusa, Infernal Knight Captain Roland, TG Wonder Magician, Ib, Deep Sea Repetitor, Garden Rose Flora, Excel Synchron, TG Star Guardian, Danglong, Phonon Pulse Dragon, Crystron Quandax, Fish Lamp, Cupid Pitch, Tatsunoko, Shamisen Samsara, Martial Metal Marcher, High Speeder Cork Shooter, TG Mighty Striker, Puralis, Formulus Synchron, and Celestial Double Star Shaman. Holy shit. Granted, this won't trigger like 90% of their effects because most of them require to be synchro summoned to do things, but it will allow you to just put them on board for free to get certain other effects, such as Formula Synchron's effect to synchro summon on the opponent's turn. This is kind of insane, not to mention that this will trigger both of these effects on summon to add send a spell trap from hand or field to the graveyard to add any White Woods cards or light spellcaster, or to book all of your opponent's monsters, and keep in mind you can do this whenever they activate a card or effect. Their first spell is Legend of the White Woods. It is a normal spell with 2 effects, and it says if you control an illusion or spellcaster, add 1 White Woods monster from your deck to your hand, and if it's sent to the graveyard to activate a monster effect, you can set it. So it just gives you an additional use of it, because it's a normal spell, you can just activate it immediately. This is kind of really good. Next up is Beware the White Woods, another normal spell with 2 effects, that says if you control a level 6 or higher illusion or spellcaster, target 1 card your opponent controls and destroy it, and if it's sent to graveyard, does the same thing as the first one. Another really good card, can reset itself, it's some pretty good removal, it's just overall solid as well. Alright, so here's a new Sinful Spoil card. This is Whispers of the Sinful Spoils. It is a quick play with 2 effects as well. Target 1 illusion or spellcaster you control, return that face-up monster to the hand or extra deck, then special an illusion or spellcaster from your graveyard or banishment. If it's sent to the graveyard activated monster effect, you can reset it. So it's an okay tag out, but I'm not sure if it's actually like super good. If it could target one in your graveyard as well to bounce it and then summon something else, that would be pretty neat, but I think overall there's not too many amazing uses. Maybe if Dia Bells does something, I just completely forgot what she did other than being like a mediocre anti-spell, but let me know if there's anything you can actually see with synergy with this. And finally, their trap card is Woes of the White Woods. It has the same reset effect, by the way, because all the other ones do as well. Also, it says special summon a White Woods monster from your hand or deck, then immediately you can synchro a White Woods monster. So keep in mind, this doesn't say you have to use the one that you summon, so you can easily use this to trigger the effect of something that triggers on summon, like the one that searches for a back row, and then synchro summon with other monsters instead. Yet another really solid card, especially because you can use this to go into your tuner synchros that have effects on summon, or you can, actually this also works with the Dia Bell, because she also has an effect on summon too. Okay, so what do I think about this archetype? I think this is a really solid start. I'm not sure how much synergy it has with like any of the other Sinful Spoil stuff. It might just kind of be its own thing right now, but I think overall it's got a really solid backbone. It reminds me a lot of like Manadium with how it was already really decent off the bat. Has some really good summoning, like a really good board spam, I should say. Has a lot of really great recursion, really simplistic conditions. All of their stuff can reset itself immediately, essentially, when they're sent, so they're kind of just better Witchcrafter in that regard. Sorry, Witchcrafter players. A lot of their stuff is fairly generic, like you don't have to use specific materials for anything, so you can easily supplement some other synchro engines. Maybe you can even play this with Mannadium. Their synchro monsters all seem to be very, very good. The massive stat boost, double piercing battle damage, protection from card effects, mass book on summon, adding more things from deck as a consistency piece. This tagging out into anything is kind of absurd in my opinion, especially, and this being completely generic is also really, really good. Ooh, imagine using this in like a runic build or something, because they don't have a field spell. Just add back a runic card. Oh, nasty. All their back row, again, is kind of just what Witchcrafter wish they had. Not a hard once per turn, basically, like a one effect per turn. And then also, you can just reset them immediately instead of during end phase. Really, really great. I think that overall, while it might not be like super meta contending with just this wave of support, I can definitely see this already being like a really solid tier 2-ish deck off the bat, but it'll definitely get better as we get even more Sinful Spoils cards that'll probably synergize with it. But I don't know, that's just my opinion. Leave it down in the comments below, because that's going to do it for the video. If you liked it, please sure leave a like, as I'll split this video and the channel into the YouTube recommended. And if this content makes me like it, like the rest of my review series, then perhaps consider subscribing and turning on notifications, because support your channel or anything else, and it's absolutely free. Plus, we're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of 2024. Also, don't worry, directly getting some awesome teaching and merchandise in the process. Check out Tapio cards in the link down below. Use code Aurora5 for 5% off your purchase at checkout, and support me financially. Once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. This is Aurora, signing off.